Hey, what's up guys? So I got a very special duel for you guys. This one's actually really awesome. I wish I recorded it live, but unfortunately, when I'm testing some of my decks that I already feel like they have pretty good consistency, I don't really like, record them like live. But this is a pretty awesome duel. He's playing a Mist Valley Simorgh lockdown deck. It was a deck that tried to take off like a long time ago. If you guys didn't know, Dark Simorgh at one point was like $200. The combo revolves around having anti-spell fragrance plus Dark Simorgh on the field, and it makes it so your opponent can't use spell or traps essentially, or set cards period. That means includes the monster. So he opens up really good. He's opens up with Fiendish Chain, a Vanity's Emptiness, a anti-spell fragrance, and a Solemn Warning, and a face down Sazank. So also, this card counts as a ninja card, so he also is playing Apex Avian build, which is super stun. He's playing the most anti-meta thing ever. So my standby phase, he activates the Vanity's Emptiness, plus anti-spell fragrance. So I couldn't use spells, but it's fine. If I drew heavy, I couldn't use heavy. I'm so glad I drew the MST because that was chainable. I figured I'd hit one of his back rows, and then swing with yellow Gadget into his face downs because I didn't know what deck he was playing at that time. I saw the anti-spell fragrance and I had an idea, but I was like, no one's going to play that deck. Is like a really old deck and it's not that consistent, but he opens up amazing. So if you guys don't know what Sazank does, when he's flipped face up, you send one monster on the field to the graveyard and he sends my Gadget. I'm so sad that my Gadget had 1200 attack and he had 1200 defense, so I couldn't even run over his monster. And I summoned another Gadget and I set that Reborn from last turn. Because I can't activate cards from my hand that are spells, I have to set them and wait a turn. So every time Mist Valley attacks, he has to bounce a card back. He ends up bouncing back to Sazank previously, and he resets it. And I was like, oh man, this is getting pretty nasty. So then I go for double summon, go for my Gadget. I go for a Symphony to Djinn, so I can kill his monster. And if he flips this monster, it actually sends it to the graveyard, and it doesn't actually destroy it. And I probably shouldn't have made Djinn, but I think he fell for the bluff, and he's like, oh, it's cool. The Djinn will protect itself, so he didn't flip it, and I got kind of lucky there, I think. Or maybe he wanted set to destroy something else. He ends up getting out some more, and he's got the lock right now, guys. The lock is anti-spell fragrance plus Dark Simorgh. I can no longer use spells that are, well, spell or traps that are in my hand. This one is already set, so this one's okay. So I kill his Sazank, no problem. And so I have to take the damage from Dark Simorgh, and he's got that 1200 Ninja Ibisu. So he's also a win, that's why he plays it, and he's a ninja card, so it works with the transformation. And he's got another transformation. Man, this guy made this deck look so good. Like, he opened up with the heart of the cards. I go for an X, because I figure, having a Fortress is pretty awesome. He goes for Apex Avian, and I'm like, shoot, he's got that Avian build. So I wanted to kill Dark Simorgh, and of course he doesn't allow me to do that, because this card, oh, if I can mouse over it, the Mist Valley Apex Avian, once this card comes out, it basically is like Lagia on steroids. It's Lagia plus Dolka combined. You have to return one face-up Mist Valley card you control, so that can be anything. Generally, they only just have Avian. Sometimes they will play the field spell, but to make the deck more consistent, you could just play the Apex Avian. But yeah, he opened up really good, and this duel is awesome. It is intense to the last moment. So he goes for Reborn. He could technically set Reborn because both players have to set cards. Dark Simorgh only makes it so I can't set. He can still set. So I'm like, it's fine. I'll go for Crimson Blader. I'll attack over this. Crimson Blader's effect now applies. That way I don't have to worry about like a Simorgh coming out next turn. And I know he's got Sazank face down. And if I attack his face down monster, one thing I wanted to mention, guys, is Crimson Blader's effect must attack the monster and destroy it by battle and send it to the graveyard. If it's a flip effect like Raikou, what's another card flips and destroy? Man-Eater Bug, even though no one really plays that one. Since it has to go to the graveyard, Crimson Blader's effect will not actually apply, but I know that if he's got Sazank face down, I mean, I made a good guess that it was Sazank, but if it was Sazank face down, he would have to blow this up. My other option was to go for a Scrap Dragon. That was also an option, but I feel like Double Summon's pretty good and I have a Veiler, so when I made the Crimson Blader, I was like, it's fine. I think it was a pretty good option. He activates Call of the Haunted and brings back another Simorgh, and I'm like, I really, really wish I made a Scrap Dragon. That would have been a much better choice, but hey, I made Crimson Blader. It did its job for a turn, kind of. So this is really important. I end up going for one of the Geargia cards, and I special summon an X, and then I haven't normal summoned this turn, so I normal summon a gear frame that I added, and now I equip it to the one that already has the attachment. And Technically, I don't think I attacked with X, so I could have moved this one to a defense mode, but remember guys, he plays that monster that has 2,000 attack. I didn't want him running over one of my monsters, and I had 2,200 points of life. I felt like I could take the damage, no problem. I could drop a Trag too, maybe to go for some XYZ plays later on. So he attacks my one without attachments, and I'm like, it's fine. It's cool, I'll get an MK2 from the effect. I got a Tragodia. Activate the effect of Tragodia to copy the level, and I make a Zen Mange just in case it's a Torrential Tribute. I was really worried about Torrential Tribute. That card would have absolutely destroyed me. So I was like, you know, I'll go as safe as possible. Keep the Gear Frame attached. If he has a Torrential Tribute, it won't be that effective. And now at this point, I've got a Zen Mange on board. Torrential Tribute won't really hurt. Mirror Force would kind of hurt. But I was like, you know what? I'm going all in this turn. Gonna go for that Fortress. Attack his face down. And I was afraid of another Sazank. But then, I think he's used, what, 2 Sazanks so far? Yeah, he's used 2 Sazanks so far, so I was like, okay, it's fine. He can only possibly have one more. And he got slowly, he's like Reborn. Reborn's my Crimson Blader. I chain a Maxi, so I'm good. I really was afraid I was going to get like attacked for game because these 2 monsters, they had 1,500 attack, and they're in attack position. But I felt like I had Valor, although Valor probably wasn't so good. I didn't know what he had in his hand. I knew that he had this in his hand because he bounced it back a long time ago. He was playing Red Dragon Ninja. What's this one do? This card summoned. Oh, he's playing Call of the Haunted. So this card works for Call of the Haunted. So he banishes a ninjutsu art from the graveyard, and you target one set card your opponent controls, and you reveal that set card. Then you return it to the top or the bottom. Your opponent cannot activate the targeted card in response. Oh, it's pretty good. It kind of reminds me of like Night Beam. But he ends up just attacking over my Gaga Cowboy, which he has to. That's like the best move he has. And at this point, I'm like, it's fine. I have Fortress still. Fortress can then pop Crimson Blader. Crimson Blader still gets the effect where I can't spell summon, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. I made it game. 200 life points. I love that duel. I probably would say that was probably the best duel I've had in maybe a few like weeks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, I mean, that Slifer deck was pretty cool. And don't worry, guys. I'll be getting that deck profile for you guys relatively soon, and I will upload it. But man, this deck was absolutely ridiculous as far as how well it actually performed. To be honest, this deck really lacks consistency, but you can definitely see the strengths of the deck if it's successfully pulled off. I feel like my deck was definitely a higher tier deck, but his deck performed absolutely phenomenal because he opened up so well. I mean, he had that Dark Simorgh lock, he had the Anti-Spell Fragrance plus the Dark Simorgh. That thing is so dirty. And he had Vandy's Emptiness, which is a very, very insanely good card against a lot of the meta. But unfortunately, I was like, that's cool, MST, and I pop something and that gets rid of Vandy's Emptiness. But one thing I wanted to mention, if Macrocosmos is out on the field, since no cards can get destroyed with Vandy's Emptiness and sent to the graveyard, Vandy's Emptiness will never be destroyed. It's a pretty awesome card. But anyways, hope that was a fun duel for you guys. Again, I'm sorry I didn't record it live. I think the duels are much more intense when they're live. But yeah, I just recorded it after. But anyways, have a great day. Asian Eyes signing out.